The Energon universe has completed its first arc. Now, this is something I was very tentative about in the beginning. Sometimes reimagining old animated series and other IP can go terribly wrong, but this went terribly right. There are four big arcs that started it all with Transformers, Void Rivals, Duke, and Cobra Commander. Now, they've since expanded the world of G.I. Joe. It's now coming out with first issue. We also have Destro and Scarlet and other things in the world of G.I. Joe. The Energon universe began with Void Rivals. Now, what's interesting is it's the Energon cubes that power the Transformers that sort of ties this universe together. Obviously, Cybertron, the home planet of the Transformers, has been destroyed, and the Transformers are now scattered throughout the galaxy. And what's very exciting is, the Duke Cobra Commander world leads you to connect to the Transformers that have landed on Earth, but Void Rivals has to do with Transformers that arrived on asteroids millions of years ago. It's a very interesting story. Robert Kirkman's original here, not based on a TV series like Transformers, etc., but it deals with these warring races that live on the other side of the galaxy, and there are two of their pilots. They land on an asteroid. They find a transformer there, and they have hated each other for centuries, but they learn a secret. Their whole world starts to unravel, and it layers out the broader, huge intergalactic nature of the Energon universe. Really incredible story. I didn't realize how much I was going to love this. Obviously, Lorenzo De Felici's art from Oblivion Song, just incredible. Now, Transformers is the one that really blew me away here. Daniel Warren Johnson, one of my favorite creators in comics here, both wrote and drew this series. I mean, you have Optimus Prime suplexing other Decepticons. It's incredible. It's all of his wrestling magic, plus all of his heart, because this is mature and heavy, but it's also full of heart and hope. And the only way someone like Daniel Warren Johnson can bring those two worlds together and create a very moving comic book. Wildly impressed by what this became. And so the Transformers have crash landed on Earth. And what I like about this approach is only just a couple of Transformers that survived the crash and that there's enough energy to power them. So instead of it being this big, massive war, it's really a small struggle between a few Decepticons and Optimus Prime and a couple of the Transformers. Now, Duke really caught me by surprise here. I really enjoyed this storyline. Joshua Williamson, who's kind of heading up the world of G.I. Joe with Duke and Cobra Commander here. And this is a character I always loved as a child. He seemed like the rugged commando you always imagined and hoped you could someday be here. I loved Tom Riley's art on this, by the way, as well, too. Great colors in this by Jordi Belair. They gave it this very gritty, grungy look to it. And Duke, what he sees is a Transformer take out an airplane in the sky. And this is what unravels his whole world for him. And he's starting to realize there's treachery in the government, there's treachery within his own commandos, and people are betraying him. I love how they use just a little slice of the appearance of a Transformer to set off in motion this whole world. Really amazing story. And then we have Cobra Commander. Now, this one really punches you in the gut here. This is a dark, haunting story of the origin of Cobra Commander, who is not a good guy, and him coming from, sort of speak, his home world or his home people that are here on Earth in this very organic world. And he's been doing this dark scientific experiment work with a transformer that he found. And these Energon cubes that power the Transformers, he realizes if he could harness that, he could take over the world. So it's his journey to try and find this. He's being haunted by his own people. He's also being betrayed. He's also quite a crafty villain himself here, and the way he betrays people and starts to assemble what becomes Cobra. Andrea Milano really delivered some great art in this book here. The colors also too by Annalisa Leone, wonderful. Created this haunting, moody world, lots of heavy purples, which I think is very befitting for a Cobra Commander here. This is the first arc for all four of these books here that really sets the Energon universe in motion here. I can't recommend it enough. Super exciting. Check out Void Rivals. Definitely get into Transformers. This is a relaunch of your childhood memories in the best way possible.